little different. All right, let's go ahead and bring this meeting of Templeton Community Services District Board of Directors to order. This is our regular meeting, Tuesday, April 15th, 7 p.m. Roll call, please.
Directors Fardonish,
Here.
Logan,
Here.
Mortensen,
Here.
Peterson.
Here.
And Tyrone. Here.
We have a quorum, so we could proceed. Let's stand for Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Skip the order of business. Public comment. Members of public may address the board on any items of interest within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board, but not on the agenda today. Any public comment? Commander, I'm just going to have you go ahead and do your report, please. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, of course, Sandra Raza with the Templeton Station for the Sheriff's Office. We had 67 calls, or for the current year, we have a total of 67 calls for the year as opposed to 56 last year. For the month of March, we had 4 calls for service. For assaults, 3 reports were taken, 22 for disturbances, 1 report was taken, 2 for burglary, 2 reports were taken, 4 for calls for service for thefts, 3 reports were taken, 3 calls for service for vandalism, 2 reports were taken, 4 for trespassing, no reports were taken, 5 calls for service for scams, 4 reports were taken, 9 for suspicious circumstances, and only 2 reports were taken.
Okay, great, thank you.
For me?
Any questions? Well, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for
Thank
coming,
you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Consent agenda, these are, the following items are considered routine and not controversial by staff. So we have 3 items on the consent agenda. We have the minutes from April 1st, 2025. This is from the special meeting, and then we have the regular meetings of April 1st, 2025. And then we have the treasurer report for February 2025. Any questions or comments on any of those? No,
I'll
okay,
move we approve the consent agenda.
all right, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Directors Peterson.
Aye.
Mortensen,
Aye.
Logan,
Aye.
Tyrone. Aye. And Fardonish.
Aye, great, the motion passes 5-0. Okay, so a business item is the strategic plan workshop, we discussed it. And I just want to make sure that there's no more anything else for discussion, you guys good? Everything?
we're good.
All right, okay. We'll close that, and then we move to general manager's report.
Well, be darned. Okay. I do have a few items I wanted to call to your attention. One, we're dealing with 1 additional forfeited water unit since the last meeting. I think we'll have that finalized this week and then reissued to the wait list. The party that's at the top of the wait list has tentatively accepted the 49 plus the 1 that the previous forfeited unit already or I say accepted, they've indicated acceptance, but have not made payment or brought back a signed payment plan agreement. Their deadline is a week from Sunday, so we'll know on the 28th or 29th, 28th. We'll know on the 28th if they've accepted the units.
Wasn't it April?
Well, there's multiple deadlines, right? They have a deadline to accept and then a longer deadline to actually execute and pay.
That they were. everybody was
So April-
supposed to pay.
April 27th. At German Park, the lower field, so when I say the lower field, that's the large softball field, the large soccer field or the ponding basin, that area that's on the south side of the parking lot. We're gonna close that field off and fence it off for turf renovation. We're gonna aerate, seed and fill, possibly as soon as tomorrow. Should probably be closed for about 5 or 6 weeks. The rest of the park is gonna be open. The parking lot will be open, the restrooms will be open, the playground, all that stuff. The rest of those will be accessible. So it'll have minimal impact to the public except for the, groups that wanna go and maybe play soccer or something, but we're not scheduling anything in that field. We're planning on similar work at Evers Park, and once I have some more specifics about the dates, I'll let you know. That will be more impactful, because to close that field, we're likely proposing to close the entire park. Again, just to renovate that turf. On April 24th, it's next Thursday, we're gonna do an all hands training and meeting of district staff, anyone who's scheduled to work that day. In the afternoon, and that'll necessitate closing to the public, the district office, the district public locations. We'll have signs up in advance, and it'll be the afternoon of the 24th, will be open in the morning to the public. And then I will be out beginning Thursday afternoon and on Friday in San Diego, moving a child and grandchild, and hopefully not a whole lot else. From one location to another, and plan on returning Sunday evening and back to work Monday.
They live within San Diego or?
They live right now in an area called Hillcrest, or it's pretty close to I-5 near the airport, but on the east side of I-5. They're moving to La Mesa. It's about 15 miles east. I've been there, but I've been to the new house. I've been to where they're moving to.
Congrats.
Yeah, timing is bad. Should have been moved by now.
Is that it, Jack?
That's it. That's all I
Okay,
have.
any questions for John Manager?
I do, in terms of the parks, how are you closing them off?
Well, so German Park is the way I expressed. We're renting fencing that'll go between the parking lot and the playfield, or the
Temporary fencing.
temporary fencing.
Okay.
And the rest of the amenities will remain open. At Evers Park, we're still finalizing a plan. That's not scheduled until middle of May at the earliest, because we have softball games going on there. But it may be closing the gates up at the top, because we really can't. By the time we close off the park everything's in that lower
Yeah.
component, so.
Yeah.
That park the use is a little different. We have a lot of just sort of periodic use at German Park. We have a playground there for one. And then we have a lot of business types that use that park for like lunch, public restrooms. Actually, the public restrooms at Evers Park are pretty critical too. We serve the public in a lot of different ways. And one is public restrooms. I mean, there actually are not that many public places in Templeton. So if you're traveling through, or you're doing business like a delivery service or something, lawn service, I was just in German Park yesterday at lunchtime, and there were 3 separate lawn services there, just taking their lunch and assuming using their bathroom. I didn't use the
And
bathroom
the
there,
reason
but
why I
that's.
asked is I know at German Park, there's a number of people that take their dogs and just, open it up to the dogs running around. So I thought, well, how are you gonna close it off if they're gonna be tearing up the turf? But a temporary fence would do it.
That's what we're doing.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Committee reports, we don't have any, but I just got an email this morning from John Neal, who's helping us out with the GSA plan. And finally, the state has approved our plan.
Oh my gosh.
This is huge news.
Yes.
It's huge news. We've been working on it since 2017. And we submitted in 22, and then it just got approved. They said everything is good, and we don't have to do another one till 2027. At least that's what I saw there. 2027, that'd be 5 years.
5 years.
But I was gonna ask you about the annual report, because I didn't see anything in there about annual reports. I don't know if the letter.
I didn't notice anything in there either about like I believe the idea is the Sigma requires an annual update.
But yeah, so that's huge, and this is, one is thanks to, general manager and, John for separating us from Paso Basin. I mean, I don't know how many meetings I go to that they always say, thank goodness we're part of the Atascadero Basin. So that was a huge deal, and that was, a lot of work by general manager, so thank you. And then the staff, both, Paso staff, county staff, Atascadero Water Mutual and, Templeton, they put a lot of time and obviously with the consultants to get this through. So this was very exciting, and, we've been waiting for a while to hear this news, and we finally did, so.
Now you need to start on the 5-year plan.
Yes.
It's taken this long to get it approved.
Yeah, but hopefully that shouldn't be as challenging.
No, it should.
Yeah. So that was a committee report that I wanted to share. Activity update reports, engineering, any questions on that?
So I do on the Everett's Park improvement. It seems like we've heard, hit more hurdles again, with the county. Have the person we're dealing with at the county, have they been to Everett's Park to look at the facilities, do you know?
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't have thought so. I
Have
mean,
we
they're-
made the invitation?
Yeah, we have some struggles. The county wants like one point of contact.
Yeah.
They only want inquiries from one person. So we're actually asking MIG to assign that back to a district staff member so that Lori can talk directly with the plan reviewer. Part of the other thing is it's not just one plan reviewer. You'll have plan reviewer from planning, from building, from public works, and they all provide comments based on their.
As it goes through the
Yeah,
process.
from their sort of separate point of view or separate perspective. So it's not just one individual that's making the determinations. But we got some comments back we had a meeting just last Wednesday with MIG and Lori and Mel and myself, and I think we've got a plan to address most of these comments, and then we're seeking clarification on a few other ones directly from the county staff, hoping to really get this thing narrowed. It's down to about 30 comments. I mean, we had 30 pages the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, it just seems like it's such a slow process, and it, how many times have they come back with more comments? And that's why I'm saying is that if they saw visually what it looks like, because we're dealing with a very confined space. So, and anything we're doing is an improvement over what we currently have. So it's disheartening to see that, again, there's more questions and comments that we're having to respond to.
I mean, are they just additional comments or are they responding, and not accepting what
Yeah, largely that's the case. We took certain strategies, like try not to spend more money on trying to address certain issues. And so some of those have been kind of like rejected. But because, all of this work is expensive when you do capacity evaluation studies and those kinds of things. And one of what we've ran into is there were a number of changes to the park that were made after it was originally permitted that there were no permits for. So like in the early 2000s. And so that's coming back to bite us.
Well, she's saying here is she's made the comment, some of the comments regarding various items, some of which appear overly stringent,
Yeah.
which we intend to object to. So it's kind of like, well, were they previously brought up and we didn't address them, or are we not adequately addressing them?
I would say it'd be from the county's point of view, would be the latter. At least the ones that I'm thinking of right now that deal with like the storm drain capacity issues and whatnot.
That's still a question.
Still a question.
Wow.
Not the quality of the treatment now, but the capacity of the ponding at the park. Because we made changes that weren't permitted back 25 years ago.
What do we do?
So
I mean, you would think
Well, I
you'd
think it's-
hire a consultant
well,
to help you with this.
Yeah,
and
well, I think
this
if we know exactly if we missed some of those 25 years ago, what do we need to do to bring it current? And I think we just need to know that rather than going back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. Because certainly if we need to address something from 25 years ago, that's going to
Yeah.
impact our budget, and we'll need to prioritize that.
Well, we have a limited finite amount of resources and we're really concerned about increasing the scope of the work to, without pushing back, because it can consume, it can have costing more money than we have available.
Right.
So,
I mean, my concern is at some point with all these additional things that we have to do, I mean, what's left with the money that we
Well,
have left? I
yeah,
mean,
the
it wouldn't
improvements
make
will have to
sense.
be
Yeah.
prioritized, but at
But
least
then
we
it
know,
must be
but at
like
least we
one or two
know.
items.
But I think this has been, what, a year?
Oh,
Oh, more than that.
4 years? Is it 4 years?
we started we hired MIG back in 2021. So,
Not quite. But nonetheless, I mean, it's kind of like we need to know what does the county expect of us so we can
well, they
prioritize it.
give us
Because we're not gonna get it through otherwise. So, and you're
Play
right.
their game.
Pardon me?
You gotta play their game.
I
But
don't think it
it's-
is a game. I think it's just what do they expect us to do? And then what are all those changes? And then we need to prioritize those changes. It's just a little frustrating because it seems like we're going back and forth, back and forth. It seems like all of this should have come out.
So I think we've got another Parks and Recreation Committee, Parks, Recreation, Refuge Committee meeting already scheduled, and we will have this with a lot of detail on that agenda for that committee to review, including the latest round of comments and our responses, et cetera.
Yeah, and if we need to take the comments in with a box of donuts, let's do it.
But we had one scheduled.
I think we discussed, I don't.
Oh, okay, I thought we got one.
I can't remember. We might have put one on the
Yeah.
calendar.
Yeah, it's just a
It
little
would be May,
frustrating.
right?
June maybe?
No, I thought it was May.
And this isn't a matter of we've got a change in personnel at the county, is it?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say that that's why. I'm sorry, maybe I spoke too quickly that we had something booked, but no, I'm not seeing it either.
Okay, those are my only
No,
comments.
that's a valid point, it's become quite a source of frustration here, because they're not gonna change their mind, so we gotta.
No, I mean, so
we gotta
we're just
make
gonna
a
have to
decision.
accept, I mean, what are all the
Yeah, what do
things we need to do?
And find.
Rank it, prioritize it.
I mean, at this point, I mean, I don't know what the money there was.
Maybe working on 2,000
Yeah,
changes from 25 years ago and not the ones we wanna make.
all right, directors, report and or comments, any of the directors have been any meetings or? Okay, just wanted to say, speaking of German Park, the slurry job
Mhm.
looks good.
Yes, thank you.
I mentioned the GSA, IWMA, just wanted to confirm with you that, what we discussed at the Parks and Recreation, in terms of grant. They do offer grants, for containers on Main Street, so I would, contact them. I'll be bringing it up at the CSDA, so you wanna contact them before the meeting. And also they even, provide grants for, water bottle stations.
Oh,
Water fill stations?
Yeah,
Oh, that's really interesting. That's one of the things we've had to, at Everest Park.
okay.
oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, so I don't know, it's either or combination, but it's a matching fund or something, but you could, look
Yeah.
into that. And as far as IWMA, they are financially doing well, actually really, really well. Too well. The next meeting is gonna be about their budget, so looking at not raising rates and maybe figuring out a way to reduce the rate on just the IWMA part. But, and doing other stuff with the money that they have, because the money that they collected is in a certain bucket, so it can't be, just be done, so they're gonna have to be, we're gonna have to be. But they're doing well in that sense, and then they're also looking for, they started the process of looking at finding a new executive director.
Oh,
And we'll be, so they'll actually be interviewing, a couple of days, some people, so. Next month for 2 days we'll be interviewing, so that's that. All right, I think that's it,
we do have the local chapter of
oh,
CSDA.
correct. April
That's-
24th,
Yep, April 24th at McPhee's.
yeah, are you guys going?
I'm going.
I'm going. Are you going? Good.
Maybe quarterly update.
What do
I
you
think
mean,
the
maybe?
deadline's like this.
You gotta tell.
You
me,
gotta
Karen.
go is make fees.
I never know.
April 24th, yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I
but
think the
Terry's gotta pay
deadline's
for
I
it.
think
this,
it's the
I
17th.
think it's like maybe in 2 days,
Okay, I'll.
the RSVP deadline. But just let Carrie know, she'll get you,
And I'll have to give you your.
Oh, yeah, you do-
You'll have
you
to
do.
pick what you want for- Okay, I'll email you tomorrow.
It's the 24th,
Yes.
yes,
from when to when? Noon.
11:30, I
So
think.
like 1:30.
Okay, sign me in.
Okay, you want salmon, steak salad, or jambalaya?
What?
Jambalaya, I think was the other thing?
Yeah,
Salmon, please.
I'll email you.
Well, good, good.
That's great.
I still don't know.
Yeah, great turnout from Templeton.
Yeah,
Oh, jambalaya.
So strong.
exactly. Okay.
I just assumed you didn't know what it was.
All right.
What happens when you sit me next to it?
All right, I guess that's not, that's it. So we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.